All right, episode 172, Drake White, who we've consistently said, you know this, one of the most underrated country artists in the entire world. You. You
Yeah.
are. Like,
Yeah. Thank you. I think that's, I mean, I think I've responded to this. A lot of people have said that in the past, but I don't feel underrated. I mean, in terms of worldly, I guess like CMAs or maybe number ones on the radio, something like that. But like if you look at fan base and you look at, us going to shows and what we've been able to create, like I feel like we're exactly where we need to be. I mean, thank you. Thank you for
I
thinking
mean,
that.
the word underrated can sometimes come off as
Like a
like
negative.
a negative. I don't mean it as a negative. It's,
No, I
it's a,
don't.
it's a fan. I'm talking as a fan, and I think he would do the same.
And I would think like in the term of like a mainstream perception
Yeah.
is where underrated comes from. But
It almost makes the fans angry, and your fans get angry, which I love. You have passionate fans.
Well, if you spin that, we've done a really good job on in this career of music. Like when fans feel like, you talk about Ryan Bingham, somebody like that. Like he is Texas's own. Like they love him. Like if we go in play in Ohio or go to Alabama, and don't get me wrong, I want to put 30,000 people in, Giant Stadium one day, but it's like you belong to them. You know what I mean? In our fans, when you come to a Big Fire show, it's almost like a Jimmy Buffett style tailgate that happens. And, I've seen people with 3 and 4 number ones that couldn't pull that, man.
No.
And I'm just saying the culture that we've built has just been phenomenal. And our fans are phenomenal. And guys like you that have spread the word for us, like we're just, we're going to continue to build it, but thank you.
Yeah, no, I gotta tell you, well, you brought up the Giant Stadium and stuff like that, but I think it was 2 or 3 years ago at Lake Shake, you performed at the Next from Nashville tent, and I think there was a couple guys or maybe a guy after you, but when you went on, it was over. Anybody going on after you, I felt bad for them. There was nothing else you could do. I don't care if it was the main stage or like it was when you talk about the Big Fire, that live show, which we always talk about it being such a important thing. And your buddy Kip Moore, we always praise him for it too. Like there's certain artists, Eric Church, Miranda, that do the live show, that take it as seriously as any part of their career. And you're one of those that you leave it all on the stage.
Yeah.
And the fans feel that. I think that's when the people that see you kind of go, how have I never listened to this guy if they've never heard your music?
Yeah.
So when I say the word underrated, that's kind of where it comes from, is like you have no idea if you haven't seen this guy or heard him or listened to him, or because a lot of people go up there and go through the motions. It's just,
I get it. I mean, dude, I feel like when I take the stage, don't get me wrong, as humble as I know how to say it, like there's nothing that can touch me. And that's the bulletproofness Superman type of thing that the stage does to you. If you love performing, if you love being in front of people. And I've always loved being on stage. I've always felt at home at it. And man, when I take stage, it's like nothing can touch you. Nobody, and it's not a pompous thing. It's me going, I feel invincible when I'm on stage because I get that energy from the crowd and then push it back. It's my favorite thing to do. I love it, which is why, I'm sure we'll talk some about the injury and some about the pandemic, but that's why, this is so tough. But you know what? We were built for tough shit, and we're from tough stock. So, bring it on. And thank you for saying that, though. I took it as a compliment for sure.
yeah.
how'd you get started? Because I feel like with a lot of artists, you might maybe kind of hear their stories sometimes, but for you, I'm like, I'm not even quite sure. How'd you get into the music scene? Because you got a little bit of that Muscle Shoals thing, soul music, country music, do a little bit of everything. What's up here?
I'm from Northeast Alabama, like right in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains in Hoax Bluff, Alabama. And we grew up going to bluegrass, you know, we hang, you know, I used to climb a lot, fish a lot, hike a lot, kayak, anything outdoors. I would be out there doing it, and I would bring a guitar, you know, and I love to travel. I love to be in the inn and just then hillbilly slip out the back door. I've always been that way. And I went to school at Auburn, and
Didn't know that
got
even.
art and guitar, and my buddy Adam Barb started playing cover songs, and I would always freestyle inside those cover songs, and I would always freestyle my way into these situations, and people at Auburn started recording it, you know, and started kind of passing it around, and then Auburn became Athens, Athens became Tuscaloosa, Tuscaloosa to the Grove, to, you know, and it wasn't, I didn't really record anything because I didn't really take it serious. I was just drinking free beer and chasing, you know, chasing girls. And that's what I wanted to do. And I didn't want it to necessarily be my living until about senior year at Auburn. I was like, man, this is fun. And I'm about to go make $650 a week working construction and get a 401k. Sorry, but screw that shit. Like, I'm getting a guitar. I'm starting a band. I'm moving to Nashville. And that was 2008, you know. And I just grinded out here in Nashville, writing songs, good songs, bad songs, horrible songs, decent songs. And then, you know, one thing led to another. And I used to tour with this guy named Wayne Mills, if y'all have ever heard of him. He's not alive anymore. His life caught up with him. But, yeah, you know, me and Brent Cobb and all those guys started, you know, beating up the road together and hanging out. And that's how I got my start.
I love it. And I think you've been in the news for kind of some unfortunate bad luck events recently with you mentioned the injury and the health scare. That was last summer, right, where AVM, if you want to explain a little bit to the folks listening, because it's definitely a complicated one, but an injury some people, or a condition some people have gone through that has been in the news. I want to say is it an NFL player went through it, or somebody went through it?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar.
Okay, but
so I was prepping for 2019 touring, and we had a bunch of dates, about to go out with Zach Brown and go to Australia and do all this stuff. And I was running a lot and doing these heavy workouts, and I got a debilitating headache to the point where, I mean, I've had plenty of hangovers, but nothing like this. Like any ray of light or sound, like
the worst migraine ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So ended up in an MRI machine, right? The MRI machine at the emergency room showed a large mass in the back right side of my brain. It's the mobile cortex that operates this left side. So the circuit board for this left side, my left hand, my left leg, everything. And it was about the size of a lime and in the shape of an ice cream cone, and it extended in behind my left eye. And you got to understand, I was born a relentless optimist. I've always been a relentless optimist. I would, to the point where, like, my favorite quote is, like, be alert, adventure can strike from any direction. And that's Buzz Lightyear, I think. So I've always been like a kid in that respect, that, okay, tell me how I can deal with it. We're going to glue it shut and be done with it. So that was the consensus. Like, and one of the best surgeons in the world was right here in Nashville, and get this name. My neurologist's name is Dr. Miracle. He goes, hey man, we're going to glue it shut. It's kind of like running a fishing line up your femoral artery, and we're going to squeeze this glue-like substance called onyx through this fishing line, and it's going to glue the thing shut. We're going to do it over 6 to 8 months, and you're going to be able to play and keep doing it. Well, everything was until
up through your leg.
Huh?
Does that go up through your leg into your?
Yeah, through my femoral artery, all the way up. Your femoral artery runs all the way up from your
brain.
all the way up the back of your neck. So
Wow.
he added the mass right here with a catheter. I call it a fishing line because I'm a redneck, but it started gluing it shut. And man, I was doing great. And then August, you know, all that stuff that I'd worked for, you know, the music, the songs, everything, like completely was wiped out. When I had a hemorrhagic stroke on stage, it exploded in the back of my brain and started bleeding profusely. And man, I couldn't feel my left side. My whole left side was paralyzed, you know, for nearly 3 months. And you know, I don't know if you guys are religious guys, but I just started praying, and my wife started praying, and we went into this mode of like, all right, this is what we got to do. I got to start relearning how to walk. I got to relearn how to play guitar, because I got to get back to stage. I got to get back to my fans. I got to get back to what I love to do, because it's more than a passion for me. It's like, it's what I do. It's who I am. Like, when you hear Drake White, you think of, like, when I die, you're going to think of a performer, an entertainer, the most underrated entertainer of all time.
I'm gonna think of Simple Life.
I'm kidding. But it was like, you know, that was my mentality. That Buzz Lightyear quote was funny, but it was like, I still thought that, I still think the best songs are still in me. I will play to 30,000 people in Giant Stadium. I will win Grammys. I'm going to win CMAs. I'm going to win ACMs. I'm going to do it. You know, I've got a birthday coming up, but I've got a lot more birthdays left, brothers. And it's fun. It's fun to have lived through that. I'm glad I lived through it. It sucked a moment, but now that I've came out of it, I can be a light to other people and help other people and say, you know what? You can push through this, and the obstacle is the way. And that's the newfound purpose here. You know, it's deeper now. The song meanings are deeper. The songs are better. The music's better. My ability to stand up there is stronger and better. So I wouldn't change it for anything, man.
You kind of look at some of the shit going on in the world right now in light of what you've gone through and been like, hey, it doesn't matter. Like, all this stuff going on, this political bullshit, everyone's arguing. Like, hey, life is short, life is fleeting. As somebody who's kind of felt like a resurgence of that, are you kind of like, hey, man, like, let's all spread the love a little bit, you know? Do you kind of feel that?
Oh man, I absolutely feel that. Well, I mean, you know, I know one truth, and that is, for me, that is Jesus. I mean, it just is. And no matter if you align with that or not, I respect it. But it's like, for me, that is the truth. And people, no matter Chinese, white, black, American, whatever, it doesn't matter what you are. We all have the same heart. We all have the same desire, and that is to raise a family, you know, have a Chevrolet or a Ford truck and hang out and go and listen to your favorite radio. Like, everybody has that desire, right? And it's like,
calm and freedom. Yeah.
you can't. I told people the other night, I watched this movie, Free State of Jones, that McConaughey movie. Have y'all seen it?
We're big McConaughey guys.
McConaughey guys. Big McConaughey guys.
Yeah. And I just thought, man, how deserving. Like, it's just not in my. I've witnessed people being prejudiced. I've witnessed what this pandemic has done and all of that stuff to our industry. Like, but what the evil one does not know is that the pandemic has brought everybody closer. I believe that. It's brought everybody into a spot where we always we really realize that we're human. We're all human. We're all in the same boat. We're all here And it doesn't matter, like I said, if you're red and yellow, black or white, it doesn't matter. We're all the same inside. And that's a cliche, but it's so true. And yes, this resurgence of the stroke kind of gave me a head up on the Jesus pill, if you will. But it was like, yeah, I'm tired of it. Like, love each other, man. And that's not like peace signs and rainbows. It's like, yeah, who cares? It is peace signs and rainbows. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
love each other. Good Lord, love each other. And quit getting in these little bickering things because somebody likes Trump or somebody
Oh, man, stay off Twitter. Stay off Twitter.
I'm not, I don't know if I'm.
Do you know Travis Tritt at all?
It doesn't matter. I'm saying it doesn't matter your political agenda or your political.
100%. Yeah.
Still got to help the guy change the tire on the side of the road. Still got to stop your brother, man.
I mean, but what you see on the unfortunate thing is what you see on Twitter these days is like, well, if I don't agree with your political views, I'm not going to change your tire. And that I think for us is where we lose it, and we kind of go, wait a minute, like I can be best friends with somebody and completely disagree with them politically, or completely disagree with them about food or anything I'm passionate about. So I never understood it. But then when you go online, you go on social media, and you get consumed with this or bombarded with this stuff in this day and age, and what people are dying, and people are, you got people overseas fighting in wars and like all this stuff. And then you got people like you that are going through a completely unexpected physical condition, and you name it, people are going through it. We're shocked that it's still a thing to like get angry about the most mundane elements of life. That it's like, oh, politics, that you're going to take your energy right now when you got a family or stuff to worry about and put it towards politics and arguing on social media. I don't know. For us, we're always trying to entertain, inform, do all these things. I think it's a breath of fresh air when an artist like you kind of sees the big picture with every fan. Yeah. You don't care if they're in Japan, or you don't care if they're in Mexico or America. Like, that fan is equal to that fan, to that fan, to that fan.
Everybody's equal, yeah.
But I mean, I wish that was just in general, the way most musicians just kind of like, not musicians, I just think most people, we could all get together more and just kind of like lift each other up versus like
like, what are things that unite people? Music, food, like you sit at the dinner table, you listen to some music, you have some cold beers, like that doesn't matter where you come from. Like Drake White's playing guitar, whiskey's pouring, like we're eating good food, like everyone's gonna be in a good mood, and all that stuff kind of fades away.
And who cares if you don't agree with my politics or not? And it's so sad to see where we're at, where it's like people have to fight about stuff that's like, it's out of our control. Let's be honest. Like a lot of this stuff is out of our control, and it's like you had a newfound appreciation, it sounds like, for kind of some of the elements of like fans, your family, whatever it might be, of man, like you don't realize how nice it was just to kind of like, all right, grab my guitar and go on stage. It's like, oh, like now I know that there's something. It's not that easy. Like you were a fortunate person, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it was definitely a perspective shift on what was important and what I can control. But I do know this, that at 35 years old, when you almost lose your life, you realize that all the little bickering and all the little stuff, like it's best just to let, kind of follow Dolly Parton's lead and just kind of say what you know and shut your mouth the rest of the time and just choose happiness. There's always going to be the good and there's always going to be the bad. And we have a choice, especially living in this country, to choose the good or the bad. And I'm going to choose good, man. And I'm not going to get caught up in the drama. I'm not going to get in this comparison of who's got what on Instagram. Like, I'm going to go out here and enjoying my dogs, enjoying my wife, enjoy, catching a fish every now and then, and hopefully, doing some hunting with my bow, and just write songs, man. Write your perspective. And I think I haven't watched the news. I do know what's going on because I get my news from different outlets, but I haven't watched like mainstream news since last year.
Oh, good for you.
The agenda of that, and like what we choose to put in our heads and what we choose to talk about, that's what we are. What we choose to talk about, the power, there's so much power in your language. And like, if you say I'm broke, I've never said I'm broke. Now, have I been broke? I mean, yeah, but I never admitted that I was broke. And it's not me being full of crap or whatever. I just believe in the power of language, and what you say you are. Like for me, I'm a world-class entertainer. I'm a lover of Jesus. I'm a lover of Alex White. I'm a lover of the fire starters and my fans, my band. I'm a showman. I'm a patriot. I'm a son. And I'm a damn boss, man. Like, and you know why?
I mean, jacked up, dude.
Yeah.
Let's go. You should have football coach at the end of that.
My wife's name is Alex too.
Yeah,
so
his wife's name is Alex.
I believe in what you say you are.
Yeah.
And
as long as you own it, though, right?
Yeah, you got to own it. You got to be both. You have to have something to back that up, obviously.
yeah,
Yeah, and you do.
Yeah.
You do, obviously.
I'm-
But a lot of people in Nashville don't back it up. You know that. And you might not admit it, but you know a lot of people in Nashville don't back it up.
well, I mean, it's not just Nashville. It's everywhere. I mean, very rarely does somebody. I mean, you can hold me to the coals, man. I can tell you that everything that is in me fights for truth and fights for, just joy and happiness and freedom and all that stuff. Like but as far as people being fake or being like, that's everywhere. That's everywhere.
It's definitely everywhere. But our experience, we're in Chicago right now, but I'm moving to Colorado, by the way, to get even farther away from people. But the Nashville thing, and you're not a Nashville. I know you weren't a Nashville strong shirt. We love Nashville. We love going to Nashville. But like, there's this element of Nashville when it comes to like the country music scene, not necessarily the startup scene or anything like that. I'm just talking about strictly the artists that are pretending that, and you make great music. We're not gonna sit here and like shit talk music, but there's this element of Nashville that's so Los Angeles, that's so like, look at me, look at my music. And you just go on, we get sent, I'm not exaggerating, on a Friday morning, 300, 400, 500 emails about new songs. We go through them. We have to, nobody has a bigger playlist following that we do on Spotify in terms of country music. There's a lot of bad stuff out there. It's just people trying to piggyback off of daddy's money. Daddy let me move to Nashville. Oh, I'm going to make music. I'm going to just do this. Like, does that bother you at all? Because it's a thing, obviously. Do you see it? Do you hear some song on the radio and you go, how the fuck is that song on the radio? Or no? Or do you not let it get to you?
No, I don't even now, I have said that before.
That's what I'm trying to say, because it's like, we're fans.
Yeah.
So we'd like to ask these questions because it's like, we love you as an artist. We love Kip Moore as an artist. And
loves country music and loves Nashville and loves our craft. Like everybody that's in it, we've asked, like in the privacy of our, trucks, how in the world did that get where it is? But that carries me back to the Instagram and the comparison thing. Like, comparison is the robber and the thief of joy, period. So my path is my path. And if somebody achieves something, I genuinely want to come from a place of love and say, hey man, I'm happy for you. Hey girl, I'm happy for you. And I genuinely am, because that is their path. That is their success. If I got that success, I wouldn't be happy, because that's not what he had prepared for me. And this is my opinion here. That is their success. That is their joy. Mine is going and knowing that I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, no matter what. This is sitting at this table talking to you two dudes. It's exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Stephen West, by the I don't know. He wasn't around when you met us at Lake Shake. So Wes, Steve, we should have introduced ourselves at the beginning. But
what's up? Got it.
But like at this point now, like what's the next step? You obviously have the EP, mixing with whiskey, absolute fire of a song. What's the next like move from here? Because I feel like I can sense it in your music. I feel like there's a little bit more fire in it. And even the name of the band, but like, I feel like there's a next step that you guys are just gripping to, and it's about to take off.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the stroke and it has created this muse and this fire inside me. And I've probably been blessed enough to write the best songs by far that I've ever even touched on. And we're working on them right now. Me and Jaron Johnston with the Cadillac 3 and getting that something, grungy, greasy thing, chicken grease thing going. And it's like I'm handling these songs, and I love the EP. Me and Jaron did the EP that I have out right now. I love every song on there. But this batch I'm about to put out, it's anointed, man. There's some freaking palpable power in it where it's like something's about to explode. Like I'm working with Wyclef Jean right now.
Really?
Doing crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't told anybody that either. So
awesome.
Breaking news.
We've got this song that is what we were talking about earlier, saying, man, you may be from Haiti and grew up in Jersey,
right?
May be from Alabama, but let's come together and make some music. And we did. That's what we did. And this was a year and a half ago. But anyway, between that and this song called Hurts the Healing, excuse me, I'm so excited, dude. I don't know. I'm kind of fumbling with my words, but it's.
Did you drink some beers? I was like, we're drinking wine here. I'm like, did your team tell you to grab a drink? Because we had an issue recently where somebody's like, oh, I didn't know we would be drinking. I'm like, what the? It's called whiskey Riff Raff.
Ronnie Dunn was not told that he should have a beer.
Oh, yeah, there you go, right there. Oh, was that old Weller over there? What was that?
Yeah, man, I don't play, dude.
That's great stuff. Yeah.
It is really good, huh?
Well, it's literally I've heard whiskey experts say it's identical to Pappy Van Winkle.
This is different though. This is
it's a different one. Oh, okay. That's probably really nice. But then it's like 1/20th of the price of Pappy. But experts can't tell the difference. That's what I've heard.
Well, y'all having a brand, we just all need to take marketing lessons from Pappy, because all they did was take something and they said, man, there's not much of this. And so they drove up demand for it. But
it's pretty easy to do that.
I think that's the kind of how it works with a lot of whiskey labels. They have like a cheaper brand and they're just like, yeah, we'll just market it,
rebottle it. And then this one, I think Kirkland's Signature Light was like a 48 pack of beer that they sold at Costco. that was like owned by like some. It tasted exactly like something else that was like, I don't know, whatever what it was, but
Same as Bud Light or some shit.
Costco is the place to go for that stuff. But.
Yeah, Alex, my wife loves Costco. But, you know, we're working on that music. And really, I have my barn that we do this thing every Wednesday night therapy. We did 26 in a row last night. And, man, you know, between that and being, you know, I didn't want to open myself up and take tips or think of it like that. But, man, the stroke had me there really week one of the pandemic. I was like, hey guys, I had so many people asking me if they could tip. And I was like, hey, if y'all want to donate to my Venmo and PayPal, here it is. Well, let me tell you, between that and the merch that we've created with our new partners, and my wife has created this whole new merch line that we launched last week. Like, it's just about innovation. It's about starting with a song and always letting the song lead. And then, you know, just you got to innovate. You can't whine inside of, oh, man, it's a pandemic and we can't, you know, I can't walk. I got to relearn how to walk. I can't play guitar. Well, I got to relearn how to play guitar. I can't tour. Well, I got to figure something out. So I'll build a barn and I'll start playing in it every Wednesday night. And y'all can watch if you want to. So that's what I've done. I don't really have time to listen to whining or listen to anything. I mean, I'm empathetic, and it sucks that our business has been shut down, but at the same time, what good can come out of it? And what can we do to be, what can we do to help people get through this? And that is write music and put music out.
Yeah.
So.
You're at the top of the list, in my opinion, for artists that have done the best job during this pandemic at doing
absolutely.
stuff. I mean, honestly, two people, you and Luke Combs, at the top of my head, that have just done the most to give the fans something to listen to.
Consistently
Consistently, too. That's the most important thing. Because a lot of people at the beginning, back in early April, everybody's doing lives. Everybody's, oh, we want to do a live. We want to do this, that. And then, boom, April 15th, okay, whatever.
June.
And then it's over. People like you and Luke Combs, I've noticed just a consistency to, we want to give our fans, the fans got us here. We want to give the fans something to hold on to, listen to, get excited for, a new album, new EP, whatever it might be. It's been amazing for us because you know, we've had to pivot a little bit here and there with content, but it's amazing when people like you are out there whose music we do love are actually doing live performances and lives and maybe an unreleased song or whatever it might be. So just so you know, it does not go unnoticed. I think a lot of fans also like, it's for them, it's their way of kind of like enjoying this.
It's a coping mechanism for a lot of people. It really is. Like to show, and the Opry's done a good job of showing up every Saturday with new artists and stuff that are performing every single Saturday, keeping the circle unbroken. But like for you, every Wednesday, like it's been such almost a breath of fresh air in a time where you can't really get it.
And your buddy who we brought up, you're starting inviting some friends. You had Kip there. I think, was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
I had Colby Calais.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that's been awesome too. You've been inviting some friends over to just kind of hang out and sing, like.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I mean, you know, for me, I would be playing music every night if I was making money at it or not. You know, I would be playing music if I was Drake White, you know, this, whatever you think, you know, I would be playing music, period. So I think that's a, you know, shout out to Luke, and he loves music, you know, so he's just playing. But here's what I wanted to get to. Like, when you open your hands up and realize that it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about Jenny Davis in Ohio who's battling cancer. You know, it's about Steve Paxton in Oregon that's house is getting burnt down right now that needs something to listen to on Wednesday. You know, it's about those fans that came out there and spent $3,000 or $4,000 2 years ago to come see you at you know, some festival somewhere. Like when you do that, and Garth did a great job at that in his career, like in saying that, you know, and really instilling that in his culture. And the guy behind you, and when you stop thinking about yourself and what, you know, you bet your ass, you know, I haven't wanted to do it every Wednesday night, but for the most part, it's not about me. It's about keeping those mamas that have been drove crazy by their kids because they're stuck up their ass for 3 months because they haven't been able to go to school.
Yes.
If they want to drink some wine and listen to Living the Dream, then I'm going to bring it to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We have a 4-month-old at home. It's our first baby, my wife and I, and you know, that moment, we've actually played your music for the baby. You, Chris Stapleton, Colby Calais, believe it or not, my wife was playing that before you did your thing.
Sweet.
And he's reacting really well to all of that stuff, and he loved it.
See Luke, like he's up for Entertainer of the Year. I mean, it's
Your
a big
music,
thing.
though, your music is different. I'm just telling you, like when I'm telling you I'm playing it for a 4-month-old, you know, you're the dad, and if you have children, it's one thing. And if you're playing the music, but when I'm playing the music for the kid, and he never, like, he doesn't know what the hell it is, and it calms him down. And I go, oh, wait a minute. And I play Simple Song by Chris Stapleton, and then I play one of the many Drake White songs. We've been listening to you since back in the day. Real quick, I had the song "Grinnin" is like sung on the Bing Lounge on YouTube. "Grinnin." You never released it. You never released it on Spotify. I don't believe it. Nothing. One of the songs back in the day that we loved. We still listen to that stuff. So if you want to know what kind of fans we are, we listen to like songs like that as well. So but the baby loves it. The baby loves the Drake White. Good vibe. Like, it just has a good energy, and like we need the good energy.
I think babies can be a good barometer for that, man. Like whether it be Sonics or something in there. Like I pay attention to dogs and babies and you know, just natural things that happen. But Grinning is one of those that all of that stuff still lives, you know, all of that old Universal record, I call it, because it was way back when. I still get requests and we play that stuff live because that's all these ideas, I consider them sacred. It's not just ideas that I wrote down and threw out into the wind to try to get a hit on country radio.
Right.
Like I consider I put my guts into those songs and yeah, man, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll transition a little bit. The Rock, you obviously
small transition. The Rock.
I just want to. You obviously saw him. I hope shout you out during his Sunday. Was it Sunday Fun Day?
I think
making the pancakes or
well,
the French
we're brothers in this way because The Rock screenshotted one of our articles and also posted on Instagram. Your music, and then who else's?
I mean, he's
Cody
been
Jinks.
Cody Jinks, Howard Children.
So like, The Rock has great taste, and you're one of the guys. You're one of the only guys that.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he loves your music.
I know, like we wrote articles that he screenshotted, and we were like, The Rock, man. Like, did you get pumped when you saw that?
He's pretty powerful. I mean, he's a pretty incredible dude, man. I've still never met him.
Me neither.
I enjoy his energy and who he is, you know.
Positivity.
It's just his mana, you know, what he calls his mana, you know. Is that what he calls it? Mana?
Yeah, mana.
And he just exudes this guy that came from pretty much shit and just kept pushing and kept going. And you know, I remember a while back when he was doing a People interview and saying, they asked him what he was listening to. He's like, listening to any new music, Dwayne? And he's like, yeah, I'm listening to this new guy, Drake White. And he starts singing, Making Me Look Good Again. And so when that happened, I was like, my team, I said, man, I'd love to sit down and have some tequila with the Rock. And this was way back when. And then he did this just a little while ago, 2 or 3, 4 months ago, something. And I don't know. I think it would be great to sit down there, sit and meet and hang out with him. One day, if I get that opportunity, man, it'll be awesome.
Can you imagine? We've always joked about, like, now you're in this circle. Drake White, us, The Rock, George Strait, we all just sit down and drink tequila by a fire.
McConaughey, let's all do it.
Matthew McConaughey.
Let's all do it.
I mean, come on.
And we might figure out what's all the problems of the world.
I don't know the full story, but I think The Rock's production company is called $7 Production, and it's basically the fact that he had only $7 to his name when he was like homeless or almost homeless or something, and then kind of got into the wrestling thing and kind of.
And he moved to Nashville for a while to pursue a career in country music.
He can sing, actually. He can hold like.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think he was on Jay Leno back in the day or something where I swear he's saying George Jones or he did something, and I try to find it for a throwback post and you can't find it. It's got wiped from YouTube.
He's like, I don't want anybody to know about this.
But that's cool, man. The future and the live music and uncertainty and the album. If you're working on a full album, are you working on? Is your goal now, because of the way everything has changed, is just song to song, get stuff out there, do live stuff, give the fans some stuff on Facebook and the social media,
right off,
or kind of how do you project the next rest of the year into next year?
Yeah, man, we've just been writing and recording. I've been recording music. We're going to put that out. Now, whether that, to answer the question, if that's bring out 2 or 3 songs or a full album, we have enough for a full album, but, I'm going to listen to the fans and that's the beauty about being independent right now. Like, I'm going to listen to them and find out, what they want. And, they always just want more music, more and more. But
we're such consuming assholes. Like, we just want more. Oh yeah, put out the Star record. We want more. Like,
I want to get it out and get it and maximize the opportunity with it. I want as many people that can listen to it because in that reach, that's the faith meets. You got to kind of jump off the ledge at some point and say, here you go, guys. So that's what I would say from doing stuff like this is just go out there. If you dig something, share it, pass it on, and tell people how good it is, or tell people, start conversations about it, and talk to each other. And I think that music and through all that stuff, we can we'll come out of the other side of this looking all right.
Yeah. Last question. At the beginning, you talked about Cam Newton, Auburn. You didn't talk about Cam Newton. You talked about Auburn. Are you a football fan, a Cam Newton fan, or no? Who do you root for? Are you rooting for the Patriots now?
Huh?
Are you rooting for the Patriots now?
No, I'm not rooting for the Patriots. I love Cam Newton's style, man. I mean, I've always loved hats and I like his swag.
He's got a lot of untouched swag, right? That guy is just...
I mean, Drake's a swag guy.
You're a swag guy too. But...
He's there's definitely a swag there, and he was at Auburn when I was at Auburn, and they were really good. So it I enjoy him. I understand, where some people wouldn't, but I'm a football's up in the air right now. It's crazy. SEC, I grew up in Alabama with that big heated rivalry and ended up going to Auburn. But love football. I won a state championship when I was in high school. And, I don't know what's going to happen with that. Some people are going to play. And I think that, we'll dip our toes in the water and see what happens. But ultimately, we have to have our leaders step up and make some decisions and get this thing back on the tracks. And I think it's on the tracks. It's getting on the tracks. And I think there's a battle between good and evil out there. I think it's been going on since the beginning of time, and it's it's spiritual warfare at its finest, and that's what's happening. And I know you just asked me about football, and I ended up with spiritual warfare, but we're not playing football right
Hey, man, give it to me. Give it to me.
Give it to Jesus.
Yeah, we're not playing football right now, and it's because.
But you mentioned Giant Stadium, so I was trying to connect the dots as best as I could. Why you brought up Giant Stadium with
I went Rolling Stones at Giant Stadium, and I told my band, they went with me. I told my band that we'd play there one day, so I just always say Giant Stadium.
Right on. Right on.
Them and the Jets, I think they still share the same.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, the newer place.
In Jersey.
Everybody thinks that the Patriots are trying to like intentionally suck incredibly bad this year so they can get
Trevor
Lawrence in the draft next. I don't know. I think there's if I'm gonna that's a recording. If New England goes 12-4 this year, I would not be surprised.
Right. Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
No.
12-4, 11-5, and then if a lot of people are picking the Buccaneers as a Super Bowl favorite, which I don't think so.
Yeah.
What do you think about Tom Brady and Tampa Bay? Gonna work or not work?
I think anywhere Tom Brady goes, it will work because Tom Brady is exactly what I'm going through a stroke. He knows the obstacle is the way. He's mentally prepared. He's going to do what he's got to do to win, and he's just a winner, man. So it's going to work because he's a badass, you know.
The bad motherfucker, yeah.
Do you have an NFL team that you root for?
Man, I root for the Titans just being here in town and, you know, knowing
Clowney. I saw that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the college, you know, I love watching some of the guys in the pros that, you know, I watched in college and that were in the SEC and, you know, but yeah, the Titans, I grew up kind of a Saints fan, a little bit of an Atlanta because I'm from not far from Atlanta, but more of a Saints and Titans guy.
Well, he's got a root for Mitch Trubisky and the Bears. So
I'm a Bears guy. You know, grew up in Illinois. I'm hoping Mitch Trubisky really turns it around. We'll see.
It's the ultimate like, oh fuck.
The ultimate Hail Mary. You just
Good luck.
awesome.
Drake,
7-9.
Hey, maybe better. Drake, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Bring
you.
it out.
Shoot, yeah, man.
Yeah, hopefully again the next time we'll do another Facebook Live. You did one recently where you play some great live music on one of your barn shows, whenever you want to do it. The fans love it, dude. They reacted amazing the last time. So
Yeah, and hopefully next time around we do a podcast in person.
yeah, in person one day, hopefully soon. We can.
Y'all come out to the barn anytime y'all want.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I'll drive the wife and the kid out there in the. You got a baby and a German Shepherd. You got room for it?
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. All right, we love you, Drake, man. Thank you.
Love y'all. See you.
Cheers, man.
Thank you,